This is Comet Picks by the Glick.
Hey, I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, Jason Glick, how's that house arrest treating you?
About as well as can be expected, Mr. Murphy, sir.
All right, yeah. At least you don't have the ankle bracelet, right?
Not yet. Not yet.
So, hey, but one thing that you can say that you can continue to do is this podcast. And what are you going to talk about tonight?
Well, it's like tonight is about something that I've been looking forward to talking about for a while now, and it's something managed to get into my review pile before the whole Diamond is going to shut down because hey, we don't want to contribute to the spreading of the coronavirus. So good for them. It's it may have doomed the direct market, may have doomed Marvel and DC shooting comics and all. It's it may change the direct market as far as comics goes. But hey, it's at least it happened before it gave me the final volume of Jason Aaron's run on Thor. Now, Aaron is a writer I've loved for a good long while. He delivered a great creator-owned series, which is with R.M. Gray on some Indian Casino crime series, Scalped. It's and also his his really good run writing various Wolverine titles as well. But it's when it comes down to it, it's when you look at what Aaron has done for Marvel, it's over the years. I have a feeling that when all is said and done, his definitive run at the company is going to be on Thor. Now, it started off with the Marvel Now. It's version of the character after Avengers X-Men, when everything was kind of up in the air for these characters, and he wound up with Thor, and he gave us a great arc called God Bomb, which basically had our the present day Thor dealing with a serial killer of gods, Gore, the God Butcher, an alien who had spent his life being forsaken by gods before he had come into contact with this this godly weapon known as the Necro Sword, or the All Black. After being forsaken by the gods for so long, he realized, hey, you know what? I'm just going to kill all the gods. And he went and tried to do that by creating this giant god bomb, and it took both our Thor, but also his previous version, young Thor, the Thor who had loved hanging around the Vikings and even tussled with Gore once back in the day, and then his future self, Thor, the Allfather, after he'd been ruling Asgard for even longer than his father Odin had been alive. Well, now they've got to take on Gore and save the universe from his machinations, and that was a great arc. And you get the feeling that hey, that Aaron had planned this out in the sense that hey, it's okay, if I only got 1 year on Thor, then hey, I've got this arc to go with. And turns out that hey, this arc was pretty well received, even to the point where hey, I really liked this initial arc. I put it in my best of the year for when it came out. And then after that, well, it's what's Aaron going to do next? Well, what turned out to be next was hey, he had was an arc that featured Malekith, the Dark Elf, as the main villain. And you'd think that, oh, well, this arc came out at the same time as Thor: The Dark World, which had Malekith, or a really misunderused Christopher Eccleston, as the character, trying to trying to run things himself. But no, but everyone thinks that hey, remembers that hey, Thor: The Dark World was kind of the least of the Thor films, and also arguably the least of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, in this initial run. But what it turned out to be is that that Aaron bringing back Malekith for this arc turned to be the start of a much larger arc, that's apparently when he figured that, oh, well, it's like, hey, if I'm going to be on Thor for a good long while, I've I should probably like start planning bigger. And so hey, that's when he positioned Malekith as, as a character who had been like born of the fruits, it's like of the fruits of war, and someone who's going to be like, propagating it throughout all the realms. And it's like, and as far as like the volumes I've been reviewing at the time, it's like, I mean, that kind of didn't sit well with me because, when it comes to superhero stories, specifically those from Marvel and DC, it's like I can understand, like I want, it's like my heroes to be like, ultimately victorious. It's like, hey, it's like at the end of the day, the heroes are gonna do right. I mean, if you're gonna like do a long-term story where the heroes like lose and have to like, struggle in order to like fight their villains, then hey, like they got Image or Dark Horse or Boom or any other like any other company in order to do that with. It's like, like Marvel and DC, like, there's a formula here. It's like we respect that. So it's like when you had like Thor like basically losing to Malekith in this arc, and then also losing to it's like Roxxon, or like basically Marvel's evil company. New Roxxon CEO Dario Auger, who's also like the Minotaur. It's like in the next arc, which also basically like had him like feeling like, hey, like this is the hey, like there's like ecological issues here that like aren't being observed in the real world, so we're gonna like fight. We're gonna have to like Thor fight against this, and also fight against like the Minotaur here and Ulik the troll. Well, it's like Thor did his best, but he didn't but he didn't win at the end. And in the end, like it kind of like ended with him just like, like him and the rest of the Asgardians departing Earth, like to their own like Asgardia planet, but not before like Thor just like gave up his his pad to to allow the residents of Broxton to live there. And on one hand, like it seems like it's a loss, but it also kind of like underlines what Aaron was doing like for this, like for his run with the character, because like Aaron is like he's an atheist. It's like he doesn't believe in gods. Like he has his own issues with faith and with like supreme being, but on one hand, it's like when he's not the only atheist working in comics. I mean, they're the most famous atheist as far as I'm concerned when it comes to like like writing comics. It's Garth Ennis, and he gave us Preacher, one of my all-time favorite comics. But rather than follow the same, it's like God is like not good. God is like self-interested and self-absorbed path that Ennis took. Aaron has taken a much different path in his writing on Thor. When he writes Thor, Aaron is basically writing a version of a god that we all can believe in. It's like the idea that when you pray to a Thor is going to come in and answer your prayers. When you're praying to Thor because there are no gods on your earth because they've been murdered by the God Butcher, Thor is going to show up and find out just why that is. He's going to do the math and just like try to solve your problem as well. So that's really like the best part about Aaron's about Aaron's work. I mean, like he's writing a version of Thor that we all can believe in. Like a Thor that will like come in like when you pray and say, what's wrong? How can I help you? It's like and try to fix things. That's that's honestly kind of inspiring. It's like, and it's really kind of worthwhile in terms of like it's like the Marvel universe. Just the idea that hey, it's like this Thor is like the one God you can believe in. It's like the one who will answer your prayers, even when he's deemed unworthy. Because like even though it's like, Aaron wrote 17 volumes of Thor, one of the key plot points of his run was done in his event series, Original Sin. When Nick Fury whispered something in his ear and Thor was made unworthy, when he just couldn't lift his hammer Mjolnir anymore. And then, like, that's not the end of the character. It's like now he's just the Odin son. He is like the character, like he's just like, the son of Odin, who like he's still a god, but he's just not worthy of lifting the hammer anymore. And that led into the next major thing in Aaron's run. That was when the Odin son wasn't worthy, but there was a new Thor. That was Jane Foster, like Thor's former girlfriend from like years of Thor comics. And like, even though she was like a cancer patient for like at the time when he was writing these stories, like, well, now she was able to lift the hammer of Mjolnir and was now it's like she was the new Thor, for lack of a better term. And it's like, and on one hand, it's like, that's like, I am all for diversity. It's like, and it's like I was glad to see that, hey, like that Aaron was like, fully putting his weight behind writing like Thor, like this new female Thor here and all. But there's one like kind of big issue here, and that's the fact that, well, like for all the for getting behind this like idea of like a female Thor, like, well, Aaron kind of wasn't doing a lot new with this character. I mean, John. So it's like, I know you've got your own thoughts about your show. What do we need to do in order to make these this kind of like character worthwhile?
Everyone can pick up Mjolnir
if they're worthy, like good old Beta Ray Bill.
Huh? Beta Ray Bill, exactly.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, like he picked up like Thor in the first issue of Walt Simonson's run.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And others have picked up Mjolnir. I mean, to me, it's still, there's not really much to talk about. It's now, it's now Thor is now female. No big deal.
Yeah,
although it isn't. I'll say it this way. Not terribly original. You could make Thor transsexual. You could make Thor gay. You can make a female lesbian. Okay.
Okay, but I mean, like your point is like we need to do like different stories, like with Thor. Like not just like put Thor through like the same familiar like paces, for lack of a better term.
Well, I mean, Thor has certain things that define him, so, or her, or it, whatever, and those are the things that, I wouldn't say, it's like, okay, if you're in that box, as maybe we have discussed before, there's only so much you can do with it, but it's still Thor, so.
Okay. So, I guess, like, I mean, like, I know we were kind of going on this before about prior to like this podcast, but also like, so what if I told you like, Thor wound up in a contest of godliness between the Shi'ar gods?
I'm sorry, say that again?
The Shi'ar gods.
Okay, that Thor would be what?
The Shi'ar.
Yeah.
The X-Men god people, or like the space opera people.
You saying if Thor is one of them?
No, wound up in a contest of godliness between them.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's one of the things that that's one of the specific arcs that Aaron did, in the sense that like Loki, because he's a dick, basically like went up to the Shi'ar god and basically said, hey, like, yeah, everyone knows like yeah, you're one of the preeminent like space gods and all, but hey, you know who everyone in the universe loves? Thor. And they're kind of like, oh, it's like, Thor loves everyone loves Thor. Oh no, we're gonna like challenge that shit, man. So like the Shi'ar gods Shara and Kathiri basically challenged Thor to a contest of godliness. It's like, and it was a whole arc called like the Asgard Shi'ar War. It's like in Aaron's run. So we've got like we've got Jane Foster just trying to not well like competing against them in the sense that, hey, it's like, well, like their idea, well, the Shi'ar gods are basically like doing the Old Testament bullshit. It's like, hey, we're gonna create a giant like tsunami and kill everyone, but hey, it's like everyone will be like be praying to us afterwards, so it's cool. But then like Jane like saves everyone from the tsunami, and basically everyone's praying to her afterwards. So it's like kind of like it's like that, and then you've also got the we're gonna like do the whole Abraham stuff, like where, hey, let's like get someone to like sacrifice their youngest to us. Oh, let's like sacrifice like everyone to plagues and all. So Aaron's kind of working out like his angst towards our gods. It's like in this arc, but at the same time though, it's like he's also kind of like just showing like what it's like what Jane would do. It's like hey, she's not gonna like be concerned with like winning the fight. She is going to try and find a way to just beat these gods at their own game, and in the end she manages to do that regardless. When she winds up quote unquote inspiring the Asgardian gods to come and show up and wage war on the Shi'ar in order to save her ass. So that's I mean, I like that, and Aaron's partner with the with this particular run on Thor, Russell Dodderman, did a great job in making this seem like a great epic story on. It's like in terms of like hey, like we're gonna fight like fighting gods between gods in this pantheon, and also it's like I think that that even though like the next arc, which set up Volstagg, like the big fat member of the Warriors 3, it's like as the War Thor, or as ultimate edgelord Thor, who's gonna fight the fires the members of Muspelheim, like as in order to show us who is going to be this is going to be like what is needed to be in order to win a war. Well, it's like she ultimately has to calm him down using her own personal sense of empathy, like saying like, hey, it's like even though even though I am Thor, it's like I'm still Jane Foster. I'm still suffering from cancer and just fight for the good fight. Like she's it's like even though it's like the edgelord like Thor stuff, just kind of maybe go, God, this is annoying. But the idea that hey, Jane had to just showcase that, hey, in order to win this battle against against a version of Thor, you needed empathy more than anything else, and even and then in the end, she had to sacrifice. She wanted having to sacrifice a Mjolnir itself in the heart of the sun to take out the Mangog in the Death of Thor arc, which basically also had her proving to Odin, who basically was furious at this new female Thor for saying, "How dare she take the birthright away from my son?" And it's like he was. So yeah, Odin has just been kind of like huge dick throughout Aaron's arc. It's like, and but in the end, when he finally found out, oh wait, this is you, Jane Foster. It's like you ultimately. It's like you took my son's birthright, and you ultimately saved all of us in Asgard. God damn it! It's like he it's like just like seeing him and Thor, Odin's son, bring her back at the end of the arc. was thoroughly satisfying. And it also, it's like, and even even then when it comes to hey, like these arcs where it's like, hey, we're just doing a big major change to the character. It's like, and then, oh, it's like, hey, like things are done. It's like, we're going to go ahead and bring them back. Well, I think that Aaron's work, like definitely shows how this is done, because, like to basically like end things with like, hey, this is this huge major status quo change. Well, there's going to be some writers who are going to be wanting to walk this back, and it's like, and to show like, hey, it's like, I want to, I know the familiar status quo with this character. Like, I want to write like stories based on this version of it. The right way to do a change, a major change in the status quo for a character, is to walk it back within your run, and then after you're done, do other people want to bring this back? Well, that's kind of what happened here. So, because like James Foster may not be Thor anymore, but she's definitely a Valkyrie. So there you go. But that's the but that's kind of like the second major movement of Aaron's run. It's like that he made Jane Foster Thor, and then he had her survive the experience. So that, hey, if people really wanted her to be Thor again, then hey, like they had their voice to make that like that thing possible. And then after that, well, like then was all through the build up for the War of the Realms. It's like, and rereading everything, it's like, I think that it all holds up. I mean, it's like, even though it's like, I don't think that there are really any huge surprises for like Aaron's run in Thor. Like even though, like, I'm telling you, oh, hey, he's not, like, Thor doesn't be Thor at some point. Well, that's not a surprise. That's not a bug. That's part of the design of his run. So it's like Aaron has has a grand plan for the series after his first two volumes, and it all leads to War of the Realms, like to like this giant conflagration between the 10 realms of Asgard, and focusing on the superhuman business in Midgard. And I think it works, even though it's not surprising. I think that Aaron earns all of the major plot twists and changes in the story. From Loki, like, realizing that, hey, like, his dad isn't someone he wants to work with. From Odin realizing that his son is truly worthy of the throne of Asgard. From Freya, it's like realizing that, hey, it's like she's got like a worthy husband and son. It's like it ultimately all holds together. It's like it may not be surprising, but it certainly feels satisfying seeing Aaron, it's like, and all of his artistic companions, from Sadra Bick in the initial run, to Russell Dowderman from the majority of the next run, to Mike Del Mundo from the last run. It's like there's the series. Aaron's run is never lacking for quality artistic contributions. So, but in the end, it's a lot of fun to see Aaron just demonstrate his plan and then execute it with all manner of worthiness, for lack of a better term. But then we get to the final volume, because at the end, in the next last volume, War's End, well, Aaron kind of seals things off for for Thor in the present era, making him the current All-Father of Asgard. but also setting things up for the saga of all Father Thor. It's like at the end of time, because what's really kind of impressive about his run is the fact that Aaron was telling like three different stories at the same time. The story of like young Thor's like strive to be worthiness, present day Thor's quest to be worthy again, and future Thor, all Father Thor at the end of time, just trying to deal with like what happens when like you are the only god at the end of the time of the universe. Well, what do you do next? Well, according to the final volume, King Thor, well, you fight your brother Loki because he has come into contact with the all black, the Necroblade power that Gore the God Butcher had, and he's coming for your ass. Yeah. So that's kind of like that's the thrust of King Thor. Now I'm not going to spoil the it's like the good stuff like after that. But the thing is that it's like this is Aaron's final word on Thor, and it's like it's got him like saying like what does All Father Thor at the end of time need to do in order to be worthy? Is Loki really out to kill his brother? It's like as legends have dictated over all these years. Are his granddaughters, the girls of Thunder, it's like going to like save things in order to like keep things going for one more day. But that's kind of what this final story is all about. It's kind of like Aaron's final thesis is about what does a god need to do in order to be worthy, but it's with all the baggage of Thor that we'd expect from the Marvel Universe, and I think it works. It's like I kind of would have liked to have seen like like a what does the next universe look like after this? But the final like version of Thor is one that just decided, okay, it's like I'm going to give things up just to keep things going for one more day because that is what gods should do. So while I think that Aaron had a good like overall story for Thor in the sense of the War of the Realms, his ultimate thesis, like as a like what does a god need to do in order to be worthy of its believers? It's like this is kind of like you can see what that's necessary in King Thor. It's like he's going to give up everything just to keep them going for one more day. It's like, and that's kind of impressive. It's like it's not what I expect from a professed atheist. That's for sure. But at the end of the day, it's like that definitely makes his run worthy. And I like Walt Simonson's run on Thor as much as the next person, but there's no denying that it kind of like ran out. It kind of like was running low on steam as things went on. But Aaron's run on Thor, I think it's something that's like that was like absolutely worth reading until the very end. It's like it's like it may have like its like hitches and hiccups, but overall it's like I think that it did add like a lot of new stuff to the Legend of Thor. It's like, and it's something that I would absolutely recommend to like fans of the character or just good superhero comics in general. In fact, it's like I don't think this is probably gonna be like the best superhero comic I read this year, but I do think you'll probably hear about this again when I talk about the best of 2020, such as it is. So John, I know I already bugged you again about this, beforehand. But like, any more thoughts about the saga of like King Thor and whatnot?
Oh no, not really. But what are you going to talk about next time?
Well, next time is it's difficult. I'll be honest with you about that. Talking about next time is difficult because it's going to be the first time in a good long while that John and I have not done this podcast in front of me. God damn it.
All right.
But that's not to say that we don't have something to talk about, and that will be we've still got another like Barry Church of the manga to talk about. And that will be Here's Greenwood, like in 2 weeks.
All right, and we'll catch you next time on Comic Picks by the Glick.
All right, laters.